Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. This is Speaking of Schmoedown, a sports talk show devoted to the movie trivia Schmoedown. We got a lot of good shit to talk about this week. I'm excited. I'm irritated. All kinds of emotions going on here. Taco and I got into a private message beef earlier this morning. I saw him in the chat today. That was very fun and very spirited on his part. I actually was the civil one there, but lots of stuff to talk about is the point there. As usual, our numbers guy, Double D, Dan Dolinsky. How you doing, man? Muted. You're muted.
Dolinsky, that's what the other D stands for. Okay, got you.
You're muted.
Wait. I had a TriCast problem. Sorry, I had a TriCast problem. But I'm happy to be here and talking Schmoedown with you guys.
Wow, it starts already. Okay.
Yeah. I could almost tell what you were saying anyway, but not really. But yeah, welcome to the show. Dagan is joining us for a second time on the show. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Trying to prevent the dog from knocking over my camera. Already happened, but it's all good. I'm really looking forward to being on the show again here today and discussing all the recent craziness that we've had in the Schmoedown. Definitely some controversies in yesterday's match and some technical difficulties with a match earlier in the week and everything. So I'm looking forward to getting into it for sure.
Yeah, and if this show were a wedding, I would be the bride and you would be the bitch who wore white on the bride's wedding.
Look at that. Matching jerseys.
That's why I have my Smash Cancer on.
Yes, very well done, Kevin Smets. Also from Let's Get Ready Network, his first time on the show here. Ferris, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, guys. I'm doing good. Man, Dagan, no offense, but we got to stop using the word controversy or it's controversy or whatever you say it. Like, it wasn't controversial. Let's not act.
The French invented that word. Is controverse.
Okay, I don't care, Frenchie. You act like I give a damn. I don't. Let's stop using it because it wasn't that controversial. It wasn't something out of this world or mind blowing. It was a challenge, and they ruled in the favor of the challenger. There was no controversy. It wasn't like someone got screwed or like. Now we like this community uses words a little bit too much. Like there's certain words they like. No, let's hold off on that word. There was no controversy whatsoever. I don't believe there was.
I just like saying the word controversy. So I think that's what it comes down to.
Oh my gosh.
That's my doppelganger, my variant. Loki here. I got the other me is in the chat. So sorry, don't mind him.
We've already started our game hot matches. We talk about the matches here. It's a hot potato style game, predetermined times, and a couple other little tricks Frenchie has up his sleeve to determine who is eliminated. But pretty much, if you're talking when Frenchie's timer goes off, you are out, and the consequences and rewards will be dealt in the interview time. So, but yeah, but first, dude, let's start with obviously with Frankie Alvarez versus Jessica Schloeth. Jay Wade is a Den fan, so I was pulling for Jess the whole time. She played great. She played really good. Frankie Alvarez, I've seen him play once before, but I can't decide. I don't know. There's something about that guy, not in a bad way. There's something about that guy. I've not decided if I'm going to be a fan of his in the future or not yet. Yeah. Sorry, because I know he's on Paige's team. Sorry, Paige. Don't kick my ass.
Well, I mean, I do feel that Frankie just seems very lucky at times, but he's winning, and but he ended up going all the way to overtime, so that does say something. He didn't quit out. You can only rely on luck so much before you lose. So he kept on winning, he kept on trying, and he was never, like Sam said, he was never out. He was never down, and he was always up or tied at most.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dagan?
Yeah, I think another really good performance from two strong rookies, and Frankie just edged out Jess here, but I thought they both played really well.
Yeah. Sorry,
See my strategy? I have a strategy for this game.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Come on, Francis, you gotta speak. You can't just sit there and talk. Maybe
okay, got you. My apologies. Yeah, so like when I was watching this match, I love that they both improved from their first match. I think there you see the improvement. You see how they Jess fought back in the second round. You know, it was 7-6, and then she fought back to tie it 13-13. And you know what? I have a very there's a very special. I'm watching Frankie Alvarez very closely this year because you know how he is. He talks a lot of smack. He runs his yap all the time. He ran his yap at me about soup. I don't know why he did that because he was completely wrong in that sense about soup. Yes, it was about soup. It was about soup. Yes,
chicken noodle, beef.
I think it was French onion, and if soup was an appetizer. I said soup wasn't an appetizer. I think soup is not an appetizer.
Well, which one of you was the soup Nazi?
Yeah, no, he wasn't a soup Nazi. I would have been okay with that. No soup for you. No, it wasn't like that. He was like, "Is it an appetizer? It's not an appetizer." I said no. He said yes, and we argued for like about 2 minutes. You know, I argue about stupid stuff. It is what it is. I love doing that. It's fun. I just asked Dagan. I really like this match because you could see the growth and the improvement of both players. Like you can just see it. Like, and guess what? It's their second match. People act like Ben Bateman. You think he was this good in his second match? No, he wasn't. He wasn't that good. We'll talk about Ben Bateman later.
I've got to cut you off because you're talking too much, and I don't want you.
No.
Our first person.
Man down.
Away. I guess we should go on to Ty Lieberman and Josh Horowitz. Personally, I think this is Josh's best game ever. I mean, he only missed his bonus question in round 1, and he was perfect throughout the whole match. I mean, he was just that close from actually scoring a perfect game. I actually count the bonus.
Well, Double D. Well, thank you for pointing out the obvious. It's only his third match ever. Period. You know what I mean? Like he's had that teams match with Perry. His single match.
Hey,
No.
We got a second elimination. All right, Dagan, down to you and me. So what are your thoughts on?
No, I piggyback with what you guys were saying. I think that both rookies improved dramatically from their first match to their next match. In the last match we talked about, but this match, Josh Horowitz, also much improved. And I agree that it's probably his best match that we've seen him play this season.
Yeah, and I definitely like Ty, how he played. But I think his act was kind of getting old after a while, but the smugness a little bit. But yeah, he definitely did. And they both did opponent's choice. And I think, Josh originally landed on video game movies, but it worked well for him. He got every single question right. So I don't know if that was just a mind trick, but I think even Sam said like he was like 50-50 on it, but it succeeded in the best. But Ty Lieberman, that was he didn't give up any steals, but he went to 6 points. So that definitely was his disadvantage.
I think he may not have played as well in this match as maybe he did in his first match. I think he got a TKO. But I like the character. It can be a little bit overdone at times, but it's an effective heel nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, I think there can be some room for improvement. He's definitely got something. It's just maybe a little bit more tweaking.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I think, we should just go on to Mark Haas and Amaru Moses. The most interesting IG match we have seen yet with no sound. I definitely like the commentary between Christian and Mark because I kind of think it was a bit that they didn't have the answers because it just felt like, this is definitely a Mark Ellis and Christian Harloff bit that we usually see from from the table that they usually have. So I think that was a conscious decision not to have the answers in front of them and just say, we're just going to do it and make a joke out of it because they're comedians after all.
Yeah, it's a tough situation to be in for sure when you lose.
Hey, this is my third win. All right.
I talked the least. What the hell? Come on now.
Oh, I knew it. I was sitting here looking at the clock like, dude, it's getting down to it right now. This is about to go down. I was sitting back here like, yes, it's getting close. It's getting close. Hey, I want to. Okay, real quick, the Horowitz and Ty Lieberman match.
Okay.
Dude, once again, and I'm just gonna say it. Once again, the benefit of the doubt rule handed out participation points. Dude, Okay? It does not matter if I know that you know the answer. It doesn't matter if I know you know who the person is. The fact of the matter is, it's a competition, it's a sport. The answer is either right or wrong. Period. It's either right or wrong. You know what, dude? Dude, no, seriously, dude, Frenchie, fucking for real, dude. Just once, I want to be able to say something about it. Damn it, dude. I'm not fucking around. Dude, please, I love you guys. This is a sports talk show. For once, I want to talk about it as if it's a sport without someone mocking me and shit like that. That's all I'm saying. I've been nice about it for weeks, dude. Just once. Thank you. If it's a sport is about competition. You don't get points for showing up. You don't get points for almost scoring a touchdown. You don't get points for almost hitting a home run. You get points for hitting a home run, scoring a touchdown, and getting the right answer.
What question was this again, Jay?
Thank you very much.
What question was this again? I don't remember this.
Because I'm unfamiliar with...
Thomas W.S. Anderson was the answer.
Oh, come on. Jay, no. W is enough of a difference. It is enough of a difference. Yes.
It's the name he goes by.
No. I at first I'm like, okay, let me hear what you have to say, but because I don't remember. But no, you have no reason, because the W in the middle of the name is enough of a difference. Is enough. Because I have plenty of people who go by the same name, but the middle, like George H. Bush, George W. Bush, even though there's a H.
It's actually H.W. Bush.
Okay, H.W. Bush. But we know who I'm talking about. George H. Bush is the father. George W. Bush is the son.
I know which Bush you were talking about.
Exactly.
But that's his name right, and that's the point. This is a competition. It's about studying, working your ass off, and competing against people. And when we give people the benefit of doubt, it cheapens the sport, and it fucking shits on everybody, in my opinion.
But again, this is not just a sport. This is also entertainment. And part of so honestly,
this is a sports talk show.
Well, also, here's the thing with the ruling. They said the ruling is when he created that film, he was just known as Paul Anderson. See, that's where he gets like when the film was released, what is the director known by? Technically, the W isn't even correct, because technically when the movie was released, he was just Paul Anderson. He wasn't Paul W.S. Anderson yet.
If you would have said Paul S. Anderson.
Yeah. So here's the thing, like
W.S.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He got it wrong either way.
Yeah. Because at the time of release, he was just known as Paul Anderson. He didn't add the W.S. He didn't add any other letter. He was just Paul Anderson. That's what intrigued me about the ruling and the challenge was, like Ellis says, at the time he was just known as Paul Anderson. So we will accept Paul W. Anderson because it delineates from him and PTA, which is Paul Thomas Anderson. Like, I understand that, but like I also understand where Jay's coming from. Like, you want precision, you want the exact answer when you want it, when it is. I get that, and I think you have a valid point, and I kind of agree with you. I get where you're coming from, because sometimes the benefit of the doubt rule, where it's like, no, this isn't it.
But they
and
don't
sometimes
do it as often as you think. I mean, there were times they could have had an argument for it, but they chose not to do it. Exactly. I think it was with Ace in his Star Wars match. He said, killing younglings, and the exact quote was killed younglings. Now they could have challenged that. They could have said benefit of the doubt. He knew it.
Exactly.
They chose not to do it.
Exactly.
So
yeah. But here's the thing about Star Wars. Star Wars, man, you have to be precise upon precise. It's completely different. So like even like a little bit of letters here and there.
Again, Jay's argument is competition. So you can't
exactly. So you can't treat different leagues differently.
Treat one division because it's hired so high up.
Exactly.
And one not you can't hold two different standards for two different divisions. All the divisions should hold up to the same standards. Mm-hmm. And if they choose not to go with benefit of the doubt rule with
a universal thing, like for all four divisions, four divisions. Yeah. I'm with you, W. I'm actually with you, Jay. I'm actually with you, because me, I didn't know the answer, so like, I was like, oh, who's this, who's that?
Before
I
we
can
move
see
on,
both sides of the. All I will say is I can see both sides of the argument here, but as somebody who has many names, I don't mind being referred to as Dagan Broad or Dagan S Broad. Or Dagan Selbach, any of my names are fine. So if my name came up as an answer, I would accept Dagan Broad or Dagan S Broad. It wouldn't matter to me. But then again, I don't have a very common name.
Before we move on, there's one thing I want to maybe ask. Should every division have their own rule book then, and not clump it up? Like, if there's particular needs for every division, should it be separate?
No, the answers are either right or they're wrong. It should be black and white, dude. Yes, no.
We don't live in a world of black and white. Sometimes you have gray area.
There is a bit of gray, because the way you study for IG, the way you study for Star Wars, for singles, for teams, it's not the same, right? So if your strategy for knowing the answer is not the same, maybe we should format and adapt for every division, except instead of like doing one clump up rule for everything.
Also, I want to point out, Ryan in the chat said, and then the ace situation, they're asking for an exact quote.
Yeah,
they were asking for an exact quote. I think that's why.
Again, it was close enough. I know it was an exact quote, but my point is that he clearly knew the answer. He just got. I know it's an exact quote, but he knew the answer. But again, I just felt that, but they chose not to use the benefit of that rule. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I know how to hit a home run, but I never actually did it, so I never got the stats for it when I played Little League. Moving on.
It was a foul ball, Jay. It was a foul ball.
Whatever. Before we move on, hey, Dan and Frenchie, I'm sorry that I yelled.
Hey, bro.
That's been boiling up for a while, man, and I'm sorry that I blew up at you guys.
Bro, we come from the same cloth. I understand the passion, so no worries, no need for sorries, my friend.
It's all right, Jay. It's okay, man.
Fine.
You ever watch our show?
That's why we watch the show. That's why people watch the shows, to see us argue and cut each other's throats out. That's why.
Hey, Jay, man, I know a good thing about yelling here and there. You know, I'm me. Yeah. I only talk and yelling.
Dan's from the Chicago area, so I know he can take it. Okay, guys, we are going to move on now to...
I'm going to talk dirty to you for a second. Math.
Ooh. Double D's, sexy numbers. Dan, take it away. What do you got for us?
Okay, so...
Oh.
From life.
Okay, here we go. Sorry. I pressed the wrong button. We can't have one day without technical difficulties. So, hold on. I got a sound effect. Okay, so my question for this week is, can the lowest three factions catch up to the 5 leaders? So are they on life support, or can they catch up? And I like having that little heart effect. So the current standings are the Dungeon's at 45 points, Finstock Exchange is at 36, Corruption and Quirky Mercs are tied at 31 points, the Den is at 27, the Usual Suspects are at 20, Swag is at 12, and the Stars are currently at 11. So for the most part, we're going to be talking about the Usual Suspects, Swag, and the Stars. So upcoming non-tournament matches, we have Collision coming up, Andrew DeMolanta and Laura Kelly. That's a potential 7 points for Swag. Saul and Amaru there's a potential 4 points for Usual Suspects, and the Stars do not have any matches at Collision. Now, official future matches as of right now, we have Ethan Erwin has just won his number one contender match, so he's going to face Dan Murrell sometime in the future, and that's a potential 7 points for the Usual Suspects. Paul Yama has his free-for-all title shot, and that's another 7 points to Swag. And interestingly enough, I just found this out from the Schmoedown late last night. This is confirmed. Chandru has his title IG match with Mike on July 16th. So that's a potential 7 points for Swag. Now, we also have tournaments right around the season, and this is the breakdown as of last night. IG, Star Wars, and teams are going to be an 8-person or team tournament. So that's one person and one team from each faction. Singles is going to be a 32-person tournament. That's 4 people from each faction. Now, this is how the breakdown of the points for each of the tournaments are going to happen. With the 8-person tournaments, not counting TKOs and KOs, 2 factions will get 3 points. 1 faction will get 6 points, and the winner of the tournament will get 10 points. Now, with the singles tournament, not factoring TKOs and KOs, 8 people will win 3 points. 4 people will win, and notice I'm saying people, not factions. That's very important. 4 people are going to win 6 points. 2 people are going to win 9 points. 1 person is going to win 12 points, and the winner of that singles tournament is going to gain at least 16 points, if not more. Now, digging before I go on, who do you think is going to win some of these matches? I know I kind of spoiled this one, but who do you think are going to win the tournaments and the matches? Just your first quick thoughts.
Sure. I mean, it's still so far away, so it's kind of hard to make predictions this early. But I think that the usual suspects might actually. I think the usual suspects and the Den are the two to look at right now to potentially get the most out of some of these title shots. With the Den having Saul, who I think is probably favored, and Thomas Harper later on down the line. And yeah, ASG makes a good point that you're leaving out the title defenses if they win the title matches, where it's you get an 8 points over 7 points. So I think both of those factions have a good chance to catch up. But I mean, a lot is going to hinge also on the dungeon losing matches, whereas maybe Dan losing the title, or those kind of situations. So I think that it's not over yet, and I think a big thing was not having Bateman win yesterday. Was huge to the whole overall picture of the faction standings, because it gives some of these other factions a chance to catch up to the dungeon. So in terms of the specific matches, I think it's a little too early to maybe predict who's going to go and win a tournament. But
we have to move on, Dagan. So we have to move on.
That's all I kind of had to say.
Yeah. So ASG, I have not forgotten it because I have factored in, but we're going to make some assumptions here, and this is just me guessing what might happen. I'm not saying that this will happen. It's just what might happen. So during the tournaments, so let's say the Stars win the Star Wars tournament with Alex Damon. Let's say they win the singles tournament with either Jeff Snyder or Janine the Machine, and they get second place in the IG tournament with Alex Damon. We're just making assumptions here. With Swag, let's say Chandra defeats Mike. They get second place in the Star Wars tournament somehow. They get second place in the singles tournament. Laura Kelly defeats Demolanta at Collision. I know I have Demolanta, but let's just say he does. And whatever Oyama chooses, whatever title match he chooses, let's say he wins. For the usual suspects, let's say they win the teams tournament with Ethan Erwin and Liz Shannon Miller. Let's say they get third place in the singles tournament. Amaru Moses wins his match at Collision, but he doesn't get the belt. So basically, Chandru defends the belt a second time this year, and Ethan Erwin defeats Dan Murrell in the future. Let's just make these assumptions. And also, the dungeon bombs completely, and they get 3 points per person per tournament. So that's important. That's roughly 21 points right there. So when you factor all those assumptions, here's the results. The dungeon at the end of the tournaments will get 66 points, more or less. The usual suspects will get 50 points. Swag will get 59 points, and the Stars will get 43 points at the end. So, Diggin, do you think this is enough to actually is this enough of a difference to actually get to the championship, or do you think that this is too low?
I think it might be a little low considering the dungeon has been so strong this season, and it's tough to really say that they were going to bomb that hard in those tournament settings. I think the Stars, unfortunately, at this point, are pretty much out of it. So I think definitely low estimate for them. But yeah, I see some of these other factions potentially catching up to the dungeon, but a lot does have to hinge on them sort of bombing.
Okay, we're giving everybody the best chance possible. I forgot to mention that. We're giving everybody the best chance possible. That's what. But here's the thing: I have a curveball. Spectacular points are worth 10 points, 11 points. Yeah. So here's when you factor in for spectacular points. We're okay. Usual suspects. Let's say Ethan Erwin and Liz Shannon Miller get the team's title belt. That's 10 points. For swag, Chandra defends the title belt a second time in a row. The Stars, Alex Damon gets his title belt. That's 10 points. Janine or Jeff gets the singles belt. And the dungeon wins no more matches. Here's the final results. Basically lowballing it. Dungeon, 66 points. Suspects, 60 points. Swag, 70 points. The Stars, 63 points. So basically what I'll end this with is that no, none of these factions are out, because even though we've counted for tournaments and the spectacular and collision, there's still going to be more matches that are non-tournament matches. So this is giving everyone the best chance possible, but there is a chance, and they can pull this around. And we are luckily enough to be graced by the Roxy Stryer with her voice. So, Roxy, what do you think about these numbers?
You had the sexiest numbers by far.
All right. I'm happy to hear your voice, Roxy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan, very much for those sexy numbers. And now, everyone, it is time for Frenchie's Corner. Get up here, you French Canadian person. I'm trying to be PC. I still feel bad that I blew up, so now I'm on you as much today.
Bro, like I said, that's me sometimes with my employees. I'm like, I'm sorry about that. You've been annoying me for 2 months now. I couldn't take it no more. No, it's all good, man. Like, I get it. I get the passion. I really get the passion. And I get where you're coming from. But again, like the gray zones, I think you have to catch certain gray zones. And certain gray zones you shouldn't accept either, right? Why always be agreeing with? But no, bro, all good. All right. So let's go on to Frenchie's Corner. For me, I wanted to switch up Frenchie's Corner, like the order itself. I think this is one I really want to talk about first. Was Sam's challenge and the officials' call the right one? And for me, I say yes. I really thought it was 3 movies. I wouldn't have known the answer anyways, even if I knew it was 2. But for someone who studies a lot, I can understand the confusion greatly. So I say yes.
Wow. I love you, man. Because I completely agree. Which, I mean, you could probably tell from my talking earlier. No, I completely agree. It was very well. Okay, there was nothing wrong with the question itself, like what it was, the information given and the answer that it was seeking. Nothing wrong there. It was just, it wasn't worded in the best way. Is all I'll say about the question. It wasn't worded in the greatest way. Other than that, it was a fine question.
Now, I had a feeling you would say that, especially at the beginnings. I saw the way you're leaning towards a bit. But I know I was talking to Dagan beforehand, and I know he kind of disagrees with it. So we'll put you on the spot, my friend. Dagan, all right, take that thing off. Yeah. There you go. All right, so you're saying something different. What are you saying, bro?
Okay, so I have been tasked with playing the devil's argument or devil's advocate argument here. And I would say that similar to what Jay was saying earlier about sort of sports, and yeah, you don't get points for hitting a home run. You don't get points for nearly scoring a touchdown. Similar to here, Ben straight up did not know the answer. Okay, and you could look at the question the way it was worded. But if you look at that argument too, drive, he said, right? This is where the confusion comes into play. Drive, comma, he said. Grammar in this instance necessitates a pause. So you have to pause when you say that title regardless. So there's that
Yeah, but he only
argument
did
that
it
can be
once.
made.
Ellis only did it once, and this is the process I'm putting through in Ben. Let's say I am, and I have his knowledge skill. He has a way of, like, pulling out the information out of the questions and arriving to the solution, the answer. That was completely messed up, and I think Ben actually went out of character and explained his process fully for us to understand that, yeah, given the right way, all 3 times he would have got it, or at least had a better shot of getting it.
It's the way it changes the way you're thinking about what the answer could possibly be. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the question as far as the information given and what it's seeking to find out. It's just the way it was worded. If they would, and it was said last night, if it would have been reversed as far as the other movie first and then the second movie, and you've said, the 2 movies, blah blah blah, or
yeah. I do get what you mean, Dagan, but at the same time, the nuances of how we got there is pretty blatant, because I'm sure a lot of people were confused about that answer as well, right?
Yeah, and I get that too. I mean, but you look at the movie Drive, there's actually multiple movies named Drive. So he could have been confusing Drive, he said, with any of those other movies. So to distinguish that it's Drive, he said, I think would have been key here. And I know that Ellis kind of ran into some trouble there saying Drive space, he said. But again, there's a comma there. So I get why you would read the question that way. And Ben straight up didn't know it. He wouldn't have gotten it, even if they had said.
Even he said.
Got it. We don't know that he wouldn't have got it.
And he said himself, right? And when he asked the question, do you think he would got it? It's like, I don't know. I couldn't get to that road, right? So even him didn't know if he would have got it or not. And I think that was sincere. He really broke out a character there. And it was his logic. And honestly, I think it was nothing wrong in any parts. But again, it was an incredible challenge. And it shows wit, I personally think, is deserving and ready to be manager, because I would have never challenged it. I would have just been confused as a manager. I would be like, what's going on? Like, he straight on it. So congratulations to you, Wit. You really know what you're doing.
Absolutely. And one final thing I'll say about this is that, I agree. I think Witt did a great job here. But even Sam Levine, if we're talking about managers, Sam Levine said that he would have made this challenge too if it was the other way. Although he said in the post-match he didn't think he would have won this challenge. So take that with what you will.
All right. Thank you, Dagan, for your thoughts. We'll drop you out. Let's go to the next one very fast. We just got like 2 minutes, but it's all we need sometimes. Eh, Jay Wade? Eh?
Hey.
So,
yeah, baby. I will see you on OnlyFans later tonight, my man.
All right. So let's go on to the next one. Looking back, we're midway, okay? Who had the best draft itself? The best draft. Me? Yeah, the best draft
this time. I'm going this time. I'm sticking with who I originally said, dude. The Den had the best draft on draft night, and they still had the best draft, man. They're sitting really nice right now, man. They're looking good.
Draft, okay, look, is who you are adding to your base and who completes the most. That is good, but still, they're not in the top 3. They're not making that much waves. They're good middle pack. And when you draft, you're really completing the depth players that really can rise up. And for me, that's Finstock. I said it from the beginning, before the results. I'll say it now that we see the results. Finstock had a good top 3, but no like S-level players. But together with the way they study, the way they found players, and their structure itself is perfect. And then he added Newman and other rookies that are able to compete. When you get out of the rookie phase of rookie versus rookie, I seriously think there's a couple, like he said in the past, not all of them, but a couple will be able to defend against OG people, against people that have been there for a couple of seasons.
I'm sorry. I just want to clarify. When you say Finstock had the best draft, you mean Finstock Exchange, meaning Barbarian and Roca, right?
Yeah, dude. I am not saying it's only him. What I'm saying is he's good at delegating the people to do the things that he might need help with. And
okay, they're still, dude. Even though they're doing a lot better than I thought they would do. Okay, they still have not.
Dude, they're 9 points from first, and
give them the best.
They're 9 points from first, and
so
the Dungeon just lost an opportunity to run with it at 11 points, so they're still in the game. Don't you start, brother. All right, that being said, enough about us. Let's go on to our co-host to see if we're crazy or not. We probably are. All right, so see you later, Jay Wade.
Okay, so real quick, let's start with the second question. I'll start with the second question first. I have to eat my words. I did agree with Jay that the Den had the best draft, but I'm gonna go with Frenchie on this one. The Finstock Exchange had the best draft night because the results are in the pudding. The pudding is in the results, and they are 9 points away from first place. And the Dungeon had, on paper, it looked perfect. They're still number one, but people are catching up, and I've been forecasting that first of every month. And talk about challenge questions. I mean, the way I read this was Sam's challenge correct? Sam did not challenge that. That was Adam Witt. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm a little confused with that. But I do think that once again, I agree with Jay Wade and Frenchie that yes, that was the correct challenge. Because you get stuck with drive and that's all you know, and then you have that comma and it's like it's another movie. If they reworded just a little bit saying these two movies drive, that's what he said or whatever the movie was, and then Going South, I think Ben Bateman was like, okay, those are two movies. Going South, boom. I think he would have gotten there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like here's the thing that hangs me up is the Going South part. Like who directed Going South? And that's the thing. If it was just what Academy Award-winning director directed Drive, he said, and then because I re-listened to it while Frenchie and Jay were talking, like you could see that Ellis changes his tone and punctuations. You could clearly see it. But if he just said Drive, he said, if that's all he said, yes, I'm with you. But the part is, why don't you? Okay, he focused too much on Drive. How about you just transition?
That's what I'm saying is that when I was watching that, I heard Drive and like, oh, I don't know who directed.
Yeah, exactly. So my thing is like, if the Going South part, so it had to be one driver who directed both films, and he didn't know who directed Going South. Because if he knew who directed Going South, then he would have just said Jack Nicholson as his guess, maybe, probably, but he didn't know that either. See, that's the thing where we come into. You could clearly see that Ellis changed his tone. And you can see that's really what the challenge was. It wasn't the question. It was Ellis changed his tone to indicate 3 or 2 movies. That's what they were challenging, basically. They weren't really challenging the question. Like, if that's what we were pointing out, Mark Ellis, much love to you, Mark Ellis. But that's what the challenge was about. But my thing is like, okay, you should have also gave attention to Going South.
But when you're in that moment,
I'm okay with the challenge.
Yeah.
In the moment, you're right. Like I could be a backseat driver and just point at all the flaws. Yeah, but in the moment, like your Bateman's brain is going 100 miles a minute, and he's like, what do I got to think? And I know Bateman, man. Bateman also like he doesn't want to like cheapen the game or cheat the game or try to like get up like try to swindle the outcome because I know like. Okay, I'm not gonna be like I know him personally, but I kind of know him. Like he's a very honest and straightforward guy. But that's what really challenges. Ellis is the way Ellis talks. Basically, that's the challenge. The way Ellis was talking, like that's what Adam was challenged. I'm okay with the challenge. You have it in your back pocket. Throw it out there. It's a 5-point question. Do it. Just do it. Just do it. Like you may win it. You may not win it. Like just freaking do it. And you know what? And guess what? And like, no offense, like I love John Kaiser. He wouldn't have done it. He wouldn't have done it. He'd be like, oh, Bateman didn't know it. Adam was like, hold up. And let's be real here, man. Like, hey, everyone was talking about Adam Witt. Man, I will be on a team managed by Adam Witt. You know what? Adam Witt can manage my life if he wants to. I swear to God, I will let that man manage anything. Like he has the charisma, he has the knowledge. He's a great player. He can be a great manager. Adam Witt's one of those players that were very good players, but never were like great players. But they're always on like championship winning teams that become great coaches. Adam Witt is Steve Kerr. He's Steve Kerr. And that's what it is.
Great comparison.
And he's Steve Kerr, Tyronn Lue. They were on championship winning teams. They were around champions all the time. But then when they retired and became great coaches, they became great coaches. I'm with Adam Witt managing. Give him a team. Give him a team right now. Adam Witt for manager 2022.
I agree.
Yo, everybody, sorry, we got to move on. Our guest is here.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're cool. See, in moments like this, a peek behind the curtain. In moments like this, not everyone can see it, but Frenchie's behind screen, kind of like we got to move on. And I honestly sit here and I let it go on longer than I should because I'm watching him and it's very entertaining. But now we are to the interview portion of our show, which is where the consequences and rewards of hot matches comes in. The winner, who was the last person talking, will start the interview. Then every few minutes, the rest of us will join second place, third place, and last place, and so on, until we are all on screen. And with that, who do we got on the show today, Dan?
Well, for my third win as Speaking of Schmoedown champion, I am proud to announce Amaru Moses.
What up? I'm doing well. I'm doing real well. Glad that that match is finally out. No matter how it was released, but I've been holding on to this for a minute now, so I'm glad everybody got it.
I gotta say, when I first saw that match, and then Christian and Mark said there's not gonna be any sound, but we're gonna comment. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. I knew that this was gonna be interesting, regardless of the outcome. I knew this was gonna be interesting. But hey, I would have liked to see the answers, but you can tell by reading your lips, you could tell that you had some of the right answers. But I guess my question is, are you prepared to face Saul at Collision?
I am geeked. I am so geeked to play Saul during Collision. His yelling and his screaming and all that just makes me happy. Like I just like seeing the man go off. I was a fan beforehand. I'm more of a fan now. So just to be able to like let him just go off, and I'm gonna smile and laugh the entire time. I'm really excited. We are going to have a great match. We're not going to drop too many points. And I really want to see how I stack up against him and how he stacks up against me.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see both of you going perfect because I've been filling every individual score from every person. No one has been perfect. For both competitors have not been perfect in IG. So I want to see that perfect whatever. If it's a 5-round match, I think it would be 44-44. And I don't count overtime scores. So whatever that score is, you're right there. Who would you, if you do win the title match, if you face maybe either Mike or Chandru, which one would you prefer to face?
I'll definitely have a lot of fun facing either one of them. With Chandru, I just want to help him get some rhythm. I want to help him learn how to like clap on the 2 and the 4.
Yeah, doing that is
just help him out a little bit. But if I had to choose, it's I don't think it's a 5-rounder. I think number 1 contenders, though the tournament number 1 contenders have been fine. This wasn't really a tournament, so I think it's just going to be a 3-rounder.
Yeah.
I want to play Mike. It's different when like playing Chandru. Chandru is still somewhat a new guy. Mike is the old guard, and it's gonna hit. If I get to play Mike, it's gonna hit like hard. Like I'm in the Schmoedown if I got Mike across the desk from me, going at it with him. So I'd be really excited to play either of them. However, I couldn't look past Moose thinking about Saul, so I can't look past Saul thinking about Mike and Chandru because Saul is a very big barrier in front of me that I plan on knocking down. But I am focused on him.
Go ahead, Dagan.
Hey, Amaru, it's good to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Congrats congrats on your big win there. I know that it's tough with all the technical difficulties and everything, but they made the best of it what they could, and you still put on a hell of a performance there against Moose. So this is a big match, not just because it's a number one contender match and everything, but it's the first match back in studio since COVID and everything. So that's pretty huge. And so my first question to you is like, how excited are you to be getting back? As a rookie, this is your kind of like your first match. It's in studio and everything in that format. So what is it going to be like playing in the studio? And do you think that gameplay will be sort of affected by not sort of playing from your couch and being able to kind of study up to the last minute and everything like that?
So I'm going to be really excited. Gameplay, I don't think gameplay is going to be very different. It's really the same. You focus in on the questions. You kind of block out everything around you, and you really just focus on what can you answer. What can you answer? What can you steal? The best competitors don't really they strategize against their opponents, but they don't really focus on their opponents. They focus on what do I know? What questions can I answer? And as much as you want to look for the perfect round, going perfect isn't the goal. Winning is the goal. So finding out what's going on during the match and playing off of that, knowing whether or not you can afford to go to multiple choice, knowing how many points in the match against Moose after coming after him coming out of round 2 and I was only down 1. I knew I could afford for him to get a 1-point steal. I didn't want him to because I wanted to be up 5 by the end. So when I gave up that 1-point steal, I was like, okay, well, I have to answer this right, and hopefully I can get it for 2, but I must get it for at least 1. Because if I don't, well, I got to answer my 5 no matter what. But I couldn't pull the 2-pointer. So I was like, well, I'm going to answer this for 1. It's not going to matter whether I get this right or wrong because I got to answer my 5. But in terms of being in studio in general, I'm going to say this a lot over this weekend, over the next month until it releases. March 20th, 2016, Hollywood Game Night. This is not my first time in front of the lights answering pop culture trivia. This is not new for me.
Okay.
It is not going to be new for me. I know how to deal with the lights. I know how to deal with people yelling and clapping and doing all that. It's not new. So that is not going to throw me in any way, shape, or form.
Well, Amaru, my question is, it stems from Dagan's question about the in-studio aspect. There are certain competitors now who've never, ever played with buzzers. It's all been fast money, 10 questions in 60 seconds. How do you think the buzzer is going to throw a wrinkle for people like you who've never done a buzzer and other people as well?
Luckily, I don't think I'm going to have a buzzer this one, but I am going to, when I get to that championship match, if it's in studio, I am going to have to deal with it. That is one thing that is going to be like, okay, that's probably the one aspect when I get to that point, that's going to be like, all right, this is the one where you really need to hone in and decide, am I going to answer? Am I going to let him answer? Am I going in as quickly as possible? And I'm leaving it. The way I've kind of approached this first year Schmoedown is really just going in and not worrying about my first time. Getting the win, see how it feels. Your first time for anything is going to be kind of like the feeler. And then after that, you know what to do now. Go ahead. You let my knowledge allow me to get the win. But gameplay wise, if it's the first time I got to do it, go ahead. First time I got to do it. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. Don't let it throw me off. So
I just have one follow-up question. So have they confirmed that there are going to be buzzers once the live studio matches start up again?
I'm pretty positive that when they do a championship for a 5-rounder, it's going to be buzzers for the speed round.
Okay.
Christian has confirmed that. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't aware. So luckily I figured out the program to simulate a speed round with the buzzers.
Nice.
Hey, Amaru, thank you for being here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
That was a great match. It didn't bother me at all that there was no audio from the actual match. As you can see over my shoulder here, I'm a baseball fan. I grew up listening to the baseball games on the AM radio with my grandpa and my dad as a kid. So that's kind of what it reminded me of. I had no issues whatsoever. Now, I'm going to ask you something, and as you're answering, I'm going to bring someone up on screen here who you know very well. You said you're going to laugh and have a good time with Saul. Now, that's all well and good to say, but like, okay, there's some characters who are intimidating in the Schmoedown. But Saul, I can say firsthand, acknowledge, Saul is as intense off screen as he is on screen about the Schmoedown. So that intensity, it's not an act. It's not a character move. Do you still think, is there any level of intimidation here for you?
The man is intimidating, period. And like, it's going to be intimidation as far as, Dan Merle is intimidating because of his knowledge. As Ethan is intimidating because of his knowledge. Saul is intimidating because of his knowledge. That's the thing that is like, if I'm intimidated by anything, it's his knowledge. But intimidation or being an intimidating person does nothing but fuel me to have to just enjoy myself that much more, because it makes me step up to the challenge. It makes me step up to doing better. Moose went perfect besides the bonus. So that made me step up. Like, I need to make sure I'm coming in strong and I'm ready to go. We both came out with a true perfect first round, the both of us. So him having the intimidating personality, period, is just I'm gonna thrive off of that. And it's just the more he goes at it, the more I'm gonna laugh and the more I'm gonna enjoy myself. So
I can't wait. Paige, what do you think is going to happen in this match? Do you have any predictions? Oh, but for our audio listeners, Paige for Betty just jumped on screen here.
Hey, everyone.
Hi, Paige.
Listen, I know Rue's knowledge of the game and just knowledge in general of the Schmoedown. So for me, he's known as the silent assassin. So, nothing's going to intimidate him. It's him against the questions. That's how we play for the suspects. It's us against the questions. We don't care who we're playing at the end of the day, because we're just focused on the questions and what we know and what we can do to win. So I'm not worried at all for my man. Let's just say that.
Wait, your nickname is the Silent Assassin?
it is officially now, I believe, Silent Assassin, which is hilarious because I am far from silent, but I am an assassin, and I am loving that nickname because I take it more as a, like, I look sweet and nice and kind, but I will silently snipe you while I get to smiling as I smile in your face. I said it. That was one of the things I said in my promo, or not my promo, in my audition. Like, I love coming in here and just be able to just like take jabs at you, and you love it, So I'm here for it.
Yeah, Amaru, I want to point something out. On your match. I'm saying this, like, nowadays opponent's choice isn't as deadly as it used to be. You know what I mean? Especially in IG. And when you spun opponent's choice and he gave you fantasy sci-fi, what was going through your mind when you spun it? You're like, oh dang, what is he gonna give me? And then when he gave you fantasy sci-fi, were you like, oh, you messed up, or like, okay, I gotta navigate this by using the check down. If I know, but I'm gonna use the multiple choice if I got to, because you saw him completely like flub Middle Earth, which I think was egregious, because no offense, it's one of the core main IG categories. If you don't know your hobbits and your elves, then why are you here? Like, I've designated a couple like that are like the Star Trek, Star Wars, Middle Earth, Marvel, DC has changed, but like, if you don't know Middle Earth, like, get your life.
I'll start with this. I will say that is one of the harder rounds of Middle Earth I've seen. You get an Oscars question for one. Oscars is not something you're really, really like truly diving deep into.
Yeah, that's what like single players look for. Is like Oscars. IG are looking for characters and things in the background of the movie. So
1978 Lord of the Rings is very easy to forget. It is very easy to be like, oh my gosh, I forgot 78 is in this. And the first question we both got wrong. So the first question, well, what was the Witch King of Angmar's last words? And me and him were on the same wavelength. He said, He said, no man can kill me. I was like, okay, that's cool. And they said it was wrong. And I was like, wait a second, what? So I ended up saying, no man can defeat me. Like, maybe it's a switch up. And we both forgot that he says die now right after that. So the answer is die now. And those are his last words. And me and him were both like, you're right. He does say that after the iconic line that everybody remembers.
Yeah.
So I will say it was one of the harder Middle-earth, and it's getting deeper. That's how it's going. In terms of opponent's choice, I would like to say somebody did point out that I believe I have the record for most points in the 3-round IG match with 30. I'm more going 30 points with opponent's choice. That's what I'm happy about. Because me and Sam got off and we're like, is that the highest somebody scored off of opponent's choice? But I will say this about that. When I saw opponent's choice, I knew exactly what he was giving me. When I saw it hit opponent's choice, I was like, of course, because now 2 rounds in a row, I'm going to get the one and only slice that I want the least. Because even if you love every single slice, there's your favorite and there's one at the bottom. Even if you feel comfortable with every single one, I have yet to hit a slice that I will murder. So when he gave me that, I was like, I'm only down 1. I got room to play. I knew what he was going to give me, so I made sure, especially you saw those first couple of questions, I made sure I had a good enough knowledge to be able to carry me through. And when it hit opponent's choice, that's why you saw me give the fist pump, because it was like, of course I'm going to get opponent's choice. I get to show that there isn't much you can do to get me rattled or to put me in a hole. So,
are you looking for just an Inner Geekdom or the whole league overall? Because I literally have like opponent's choice and the category on my spreadsheet if you want to know that right now.
I Inner Geekdom for sure. Okay. I would assume if it was Inner Geekdom, it might be a good chance of singles too, because we get more questions. But I know me and Sam were wondering whether or not that was a top for.
I could answer that to you right now if you can.
Because I think
everyone else you can ask questions.
No, because I think Clee got opponent's choice against Sabrina, and she gave her Harrison Ford, and she went perfect. So like, yeah. So
let me get back to you on that. I'll find that out really quickly.
Well, yeah, you're the number guys, Double D. I'm just saying random nonsense.
While Double D is doing that, I got a quick question for you. It's basically, I earlier in the season I asked the few of the top Star Wars competitors on each show, like, do you feel like you have to go perfect in Star Wars in order to win the title? And similarly with IG, I mean, we haven't seen anybody go perfect, but do you feel like going perfect would win you? I mean, it obviously would win you the title, but at the same time, we've seen players go perfect and still check down to multiple choice and lose. So what do you think like the ratio is right now in IG in terms of like having to get almost every single question right?
Luckily, I don't think we're at the Star Wars level yet. I think Star Wars level, you can't really miss a question. And if you miss a question, you better hope it's a hard enough question that your opponent is missing the exact same question. That's really it. IG, I think you have maybe a little more room, but only a little, especially because the new categories are making like the amount of movies we got to watch so many more movies. So you could possibly catch a movie you just haven't been able to get into yet. And the core categories we've had, what up, Peck? The core categories we've had, Middle Earth, they're getting deep enough now that it's getting to the different types of questions. It's getting a lot of quotes. Quotes are a crapshoot. Quotes are completely a crapshoot. And we're getting into Oscars. So I don't think you have to be perfect to win a title. You just can't drop more than maybe a point around. And that's about it. Frenchie, what's going on?
Hey, Amaru. My question is, since it was probably one of the most unique matches we've had in Schmoedown history ever, is there a moment during the match you wish people would have heard? You'd be like, damn it, why did it have to go mute? That would have been perfect, right?
Yeah, I don't know about a moment, but there were a couple back and forths between me and Moose, and actually not even back and forths, kind of like symbiosis where we both had the same reaction to something, and it was really, really cool. And then I cannot give Guy enough credit on how well he's doing on the mic. So the fact we weren't able to hear him on the mic.
There's something he said that you wish would have been heard.
I can't remember too much. I will say there was. I know people were asking for it. There was. It can't be a suspect match without a possible challenge. And me and Sam did have on Moose's 5. We did have I brought him in and I asked him a question about the 5 because I didn't hear it correctly. But me and Sam were able to go back and forth and kind of realize we're not going to challenge. What I heard was something different than Sam heard. And he wanted to bring up something. And I was like, nah, they're not going to, they're going to accept it. So like just being able to hear that, like my strategy and gameplay and my ability to work with Sam. I will say Gucci tried it. Fake Gucci Belt tried it when I called Sam in, and he did want to say, "Are you challenging or not?" And I had to push him off. I'm like, "Bro, I can talk to my coach. Shut up." That I would have loved people to see, because he tried it, but it's not happening. Me and Sam are going to talk, and we're going to figure out whether or not we need to go forward with the challenge or not. So that's probably the one thing that it got edited out of the match because you weren't going to be able to hear it. Mark and Christian weren't going to remember what it was, and it would have been a lot to do. So that's probably the biggest thing I would have liked people to see, because it would have gone more into how I play the game and not necessarily my knowledge.
All right. Well, thank you, Amaru. I'm going to drop out, but it's always a pleasure to see you, my friend.
Yes, sir.
See, Dan, nope. I've been...
Okay. But I just have the results. I just want to say that. I have the results.
All right. Well, you tell them here in a minute, because I want to say something of both of these people, actually. Concerning your manager, and we were talking about Saul's intensity earlier. Now, before I ask my question, I was talking with Taco earlier this morning in a spirited debate about your manager and his challenges and stuff like that. And I absolutely love it. Being a baseball fan, when I see him do that, it's like I'm watching my team's manager run out on the field and kick dirt on the ump's shoes. It's awesome. But I want to know, is he like when you're in private, there's no recordings around for consumption by the fans. Is he really that intense still in those times? Just talking about strategy and stuff like that about the game.
I'll go first. I mean, the great thing that the Suspects have is Sam was a champion and he played in the league. So he knows so much knowledge. And he can give us not only the gameplay knowledge, but also like the trivia knowledge itself. So that man is, I mean, I don't know if you guys already talked about last night and stuff, but like I was like texting Rue and stuff and Frankie during the whole thing that like I had to hold myself back in those in the comments last night during the live match because I was getting heated just as much as Sam was. But the thing with our manager is he has so much knowledge to give all of us and to spread throughout not just our faction, but the league, that it helps us so much more and gives us more confidence and praise in a sense to know what we should challenge and what we shouldn't challenge. So,
yeah. Before I answer the question, I want to double down on something Sam said last night. This lady right here is the reason why we're able to like have this run we're on right now. Like the amount of time she is getting us together, she's coming up with questions. Like Sam is not. He wasn't trying to put her anywhere higher than she needs to be. Paige has been killing it for us in terms of making sure we're together, no matter the division, no matter. So I want to, since she's on, I want to just double down on the fact that Paige has been low-key our MVP this season so far because she is helping everybody out. In terms of Sam, it's not intensity in terms of like making sure we're on it. It's the passion that he has for us. Like his big thing is 100%. Winning is not our priority. It's doing your best is our priority. Doing your best, our wins will come. And you're seeing it now. Our wins will come doing our best. You cannot answer anything more than you know and putting all it out there. You win, you lose. I am proud of you as long as you are doing your best and putting your best out there. And that's the passion he has out there. And with what he showed yesterday, a lot of people over the last couple of years since Faction started have talked about like, the Suspects can't be studying too much. They don't get together, blah, blah, blah. One, Sam is a busy man. So we went in as Sam as the manager knowing we may not be able to get as like daily study sessions, but he's going to be there when we need it. But where he comes through, I am not scared in any way, shape, or form to ask to bring him in ever, because Sam will go to bat for whatever we feel. If we have something we're having issues with, Sam's like, let me do that. I'm going to do that. I don't care what happens to me. Put that to me, and we'll put that to the higher ups. That kind of knowledge, knowing that not only is he going to be there when we do it, when we're able to have study sessions, when he's been at damn near every single one. But going in, if there is even a little bit of a question, I'm not hesitant to say like, oh, the fans are going to be mad at me. Christian's going to be mad at me. Mark is going to look at me some way. I have no worry because Sam is 100%. Oh yeah, bring me in. Let's go. Bring me in now. You're like, I am your buffer. I am the one in front of you to allow you any question. Challenge 5 questions in a row. I don't care. Bring me in. And that's the thing about Sam that I think he has over the other managers is that knowledge game, being a champion allows you to know you have somebody who has your back 100%.
That's awesome. Dan.
Right, so as for now, we're just talking about opponent's choice matches. So this doesn't factor anything else. But as for round 2 specifically, Kevin Smets has the most points gained in round 2.
Yeah.
But in terms of overall points, the total points, the end match, you have the most in overtime with opponent's choice in round 2 at 30 points. So
hey, let's go.
On that.
Yeah, Rue, I completely forgot. So you had 30 points in your game?
Yeah, I ended up with
that, dude?
30 at the end.
And what did you say in your after your first one? I just want to get to 20, and you got 30, bro. So
20 points or more and a win, and I called it and I got it. So there you go.
Hell yeah, Dagan, you got something?
Yeah, I mean, you basically just kind of addressed it in terms of, working with Sam and the usual suspects this season. But, I see some supporters. We got Peggy over here in the chat and everything. But how important have kind of your other teammates like an Ethan Erwin or Liz Shannon Miller been to the recent success of the usual suspects? And how are those study sessions kind of with everybody, all those high caliber level talent, balancing out the sort of the not as experienced rookies that you got on your faction?
They've been stellar. Like they 100% honesty, like coming in, the Drews, the Ethans, the Liz, you're like, we have a study session. Do you want to come in? Like, I'm worried that these questions going to be too hard? Or are they going to be too easy? They're coming in, whatever the questions are, they come in. I'm like, oh, that's a great question. I love this question. It may not even be asking a Schmoedown, but I like the knowledge. And being in the study sessions with them have just put us at ease to be like, yo, they're in there with us, and I can tell that they're loving giving us knowledge, and they're getting a lot from us. So it's been great having them in there, and it's definitely boosted. At least it's definitely boosted my confidence. Just having it in there and them loving the fact that when I come up with singles questions, they're loving it. When Paige is just running down so many different questions for everybody, it's been great.
Yeah, no, it's so like honestly, like that's the best part about it is the chemistry we have as a faction. I think shows and goes such a long way for our team that like when we're just doing study sessions, it's just fun to be able to hang out with all of each other, and because we're all so different in our own sense too. So we all bring so much to the table, and it's so different because it makes it so much funner, and it just makes it so much calmer too because you're so comfortable that we have champions, we have Inner Geekdom, like we have Star Wars. It's just like so fun that there's so many different people and so much knowledge that we can all bring to the table to help each other, and like personality wise, it just makes it so fun. Like I'm so close to Amaru and Frankie, like since the season started, and like even like Liz and Ethan, like it's just so nice that we all have this like Kamal and this like friendship that I think it shows. And I mean, you guys can see right now what are we on, Rue? Like a 4 or 5 game winning streak right now, like.
Yeah, I think 3.
So I mean, like it's definitely showing, and I think we're coming along the way now. So, I mean,
and also you guys are at like 11. Yeah, I mean, I think you were at like 11 points a week ago, and now you're at 20. So 20. I mean, it's pretty big.
Awesome. We got about 10 minutes left that we're going to use to talk about the pay-per-view match. Paige, Amaru, do you guys want to stick around and talk about that with us? One of your teammates was in that.
I got time. I can stick around for sure.
All right, great.
I can't wait to talk about this. So let's go.
Yes, this Bateman Erwin contest. Wow, it was really good. There get challenges. Sam doing the kicking the dirt on the umpire's shoes again. I love it. And like you said, that buffer. That's exactly what I see when I see Sam do that. I know I'm rambling about this, but I love it so much. That's why I enjoy matches with usual suspects, because you're going to see exactly what you said. I mean, dude, sometimes Sam might not even agree with you guys, but he's going to go out there and he's going to stand in front of you, between you and the officials, and he's going to tell them why you are right. And that I love it so much. We'll start with Paige and Amaru as your teammate was playing. What were you guys thinking as you were watching that match and you're watching your faction start to gain more points?
Oh, I mean, the match was so much fun. Like the night before, like Amaru and like we were all like together, just like shooting the shit and just like running so many questions with each other that it was just like it was very fun, like to have a good time and do that and stuff. But man, our man Ethan knows his shit. Like when people say that man does not study, one, you guys are crazy. The dude lives, breathes movies. He worked in the industry, like
still does.
Yeah,
yes, like it's just like amazing. And we all knew going into this match that it was going to be a tough one. It could have gone either way. I didn't think it was going to go into sudden death because I think at the end of the day that our man Ethan, big Ethan Erwin, like knows his stuff. But I mean, unfortunately, with the challenge, I mean, I was texting Frankie and Amaru during the whole thing, and I was going off in the chat, and I was like, I need to hold myself back right now because A, I don't want to get in trouble. B, it's just a game at the end of the day. But I mean, like playing it back and stuff, like with that challenge, I get where they were coming from. I don't even think Ben even knew what was going on at first when Whitman wanted to challenge it and stuff. But I mean, it was a great match. I mean, everyone knows, like, I talk a bunch of shit about Ben Bateman, but at the end of the day, that man knows his stuff, and he's so knowledgeable. So it was just, like, kudos to both players to even be able to play each other for the first time. It was just, like, a really cool experience, I think, for everyone to be able to see and stuff. And that big, I mean, Ethan 316 came out on top, which we all knew was going to happen, so.
Yeah, and like, I'll just add on to this. When Ben made that little comment, like Ethan must have enjoyed the Tyler Perry movies. And by the end of the second round, me and Paige were like, there's no way he would have missed any of those questions.
Yeah.
Because we know there's no way he would have missed those questions because that's how well we know each other. So it was great. I personally thought it was a very smart challenge. I'm with Sam. If it was the other way around, he definitely would have challenged, but wouldn't have thought it was going his way. And I was just very happy because in that OT, when I had Stone Cold in my head as well. So when he put it and Ben was different, I'm like, I don't think it's Goldberg. I think we got this. I heard our music and I was like, there we go. And as Roberto put it in the chat, Rasheed Wallace said it best. Ball don't lie. Ball don't lie, fam. So
after his 8 technicals.
Right?
Well, this is the first time that I actually liked seeing Sam on screen because for me, Sam's just like, oh, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be here with you. I'm here to support you. I find that completely annoying. It's like I can't deal with it. I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't. But last night when he's like, no, I'm like, yes, I want someone to light a fire. Now, of course, we don't see that much, like you said, but I love seeing that. I love seeing that fire in someone. And seeing it last night with Sam, I was happy. And I even had a chance to talk to him last night with the Q&A portion of it. And I'm like, yeah, this is definitely something I liked. And I asked him like if he changed anything. He's like, no, we just had bad luck, and that's all it was. I'm like, I kind of agree, but just wanted to know if there was anything different because I saw that intensity.
Double D, quick question: do you like Roxy as a manager?
Not last season, but this season, well, after Roxy said, Jeff, get your head out of your ass, go win this match. Then I'm like, yes, now I'm on the Roxy train. Actually,
No shade on Roxy at all.
Yeah.
I was just seeing if your sensibilities kind of matched, because that statement about Sam was funny.
I think that's definitely more towards
I
Roxy,
didn't
but-
like Roxy with the whole, even though it's part of my segment, the sexy numbers bit, I found that annoying, even though I knew that was the point. But the moment when she went to Jeff, says, get your head out of your ass, go win this match, I'm like, that's what I want. That's the Roxy I want to see more. And so, yeah, I'm happy with Roxy now.
I mean, I know. I mean, you can say what you want, but like with Sam though, like he's so supportive of us. Like that man has our back with anything.
Oh yeah.
So like and I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more from a manager in a sense. Like I literally was emailing him last night, and I was like, it's such an honor to be under him and Rachel's like belt in a sense. That no pun intended. Like it's an honor to be on the Suspects. And that man has our back. That man is I mean, you guys don't see it as often. That man is so passionate about the game. Like the stuff he tells us and the stuff we know, like it goes so much more than you see on screen.
Yeah, I just wish I would see more of that, because that's the kind of fire I like. That's why I love the Schmoes, to see that fire. Even when Roca won his beat Dan Murrell back in the day, and he's like, yeah, it's like you can see that intensity, and that's what I love about this game.
I'll tell you this: I don't want to see that fire because it means we're winning. So.
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and get Ferris and Dagan's thoughts on this pay-per-view before we wrap it up, guys. Dagan, you want to go ahead and go first?
Yeah, it's funny. I thought that at one point Sam was gonna ask them to check Ben for sticky stuff, a hat and everything, the glove. But yeah, I mean, this was like a match of the year contender. I think like these two put on an absolute clinic. It lived up to the hype. I still have Demolanta and Damon. The first match, the 51-50 match, is probably my match of the year. But like, there have been a few matches that I feel like have come close to that, and there have been so many different like styles of matches that we've had too this year. So this one, as I said, it lived up to the hype for me. And props to Ethan for pulling out the win. I mean, I said this earlier in the show and on the LGR tailgate last night as well, about how important it was for the rest of the factions for Ethan to get this win, because it means that if Bateman had won, it would have been pretty much over for the faction standings. The dungeon would have locked it up, because that would have been like a guaranteed 10 or 11 points for them. The 4 points for that match, and then another potential 12 for the title match. So
catch up, but I think it wouldn't lock to them.
Right. So it was incredibly important for Ethan to win. I know Sam was kind of saying that he got some fan mail from the other managers, just basically saying thank you for doing this, because it salvaged everybody else's season. So I was happy. I was rooting for Ethan basically for that alone, but in terms of just like the match itself overall, it was just an absolute classic. So props to your faction for doing what you've done recently. I mean, it's really been an amazing thing to see the sort of comeback that you guys are doing. So
Bears,
yeah,
you get my man.
Yeah, no, like it was another like great pay-per-view. It's like nothing really much to say. Like Ethan went perfect. Bateman missed one question. It was 9-8, and they were tied after the second round. And then the big moments were the challenge and sudden death. It was a great match all around. And man, like Bateman, after the match, he said, "People come to watch me lose." Yeah, we do. We come to watch you lose. That is correct. Because that's what's great about Bateman. He has people who love him. He has people who hate him. Like, what I mean? I was told one time by a great philosopher, his name is Howard Stern, if no one has a reaction to you, you're not doing something correct. If someone is, they're okay, you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Either someone doesn't like you, someone loves you. And that's what Bateman is. And you know what? I love how Ethan Erwin he's just like always there. He's just always there. No one really ever brings him up. No one ever talks about him. But he's just like always there. He's always in like the number one contenders matches. He's always at the end of tournaments. He's just there. And he just sits there all cool and calm and collected. Like, you know what I mean? Nothing really fazed me. I'm just here sitting on my leather couch Probably my wife's making me another toy. Yeah, I got like probably 8 action figures by now. Oh yeah, I made the nice guys. I am a nice guy. Like I got the samurai bun. Like he's just awesome. Like he's just like he is big time. I call him big time, smooth criminal, Mr. Cold Ice Tray, you name it, give him whatever. Like the man don't really care. Like it is what it is. Like that's why everybody's like, you know what? No offense, I want Ethan Irwin to beat Dan Merle because like I love Dan Merle, but like Ethan Irwin, man, he's just like, what's up?
Just love the guy.
It. Yeah, he's just what up? Like,
and that's how he is off camera too. That's like the best part. He really is just like the sweetest man in the world. So
I would love for his wife to make me an action figure. Hey, you can make an action figure? I would want one of me.
Well, hey, you never know. Maybe someday. But congratulations again to you, Amaru, for your victory and your upcoming number 1 contender match.
Yeah, I didn't even get to like tell him like. I mean, obviously I've talked to the man, but like, dude, it was nice to actually see the win. So great job, dude. You deserve every bit of it. So.
Oh yeah. And listen up, Mr. Commissioner, or whoever the commissioner is, or whatever Christian's title is. Give Paige for Betty another freaking match already. Come on.
For real. Come on. We got to. The Boston Badass. You got to get her another match.
Yeah, you're making it all go crazy here. Amaru, won't tell the folks where they can find you at.
You can find me at my name. I'm pretty easy to find. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Amaru Moses. I also am, you can see it here. I write with a crew of writers called Bite Size Breakdown, where we do reviews of movies, television shows, 100 words or less. And then my YouTube channel is Yuri Reviews, URIRU Views. I have the show called One Gotta Stay every other week, where I give you 4 options, sometimes 5. And instead of picking one that has to go, you can only pick one that gets to stay. And we argue and kind of lash it out. Last week, it was choosing between the franchises of The Incredibles, Toy Story, How to Train Your Dragon, Shrek, or Kung Fu Panda. You can only pick one, and all the other, where everything from the other franchises are gone. It's really fun. And again, on my channel, Yuri Reviews.
Excellent. Paige for Betty, where can the folks find you at, other than kicking ass as a badass in Boston?
Well, I mean, besides on the streets, you guys can find me at Front Page News 9 on Instagram and Twitter.
Hey, that doesn't, I mean, okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, the joke does not go that way, guys. Don't worry. And if it did, I'm a pricey penny just throwing that out there. So
just me, I live in a gutter. Sorry, go ahead.
No, and then I also run my own movie blog on Instagram titled Future Flicks. You guys can check it out there without the C. Other than that, yeah, hopefully you guys see me in the Schmoedown soon. I mean, I'm still waiting for my phone calls, so I'd like to contribute to some wins for my faction because I mean, I ain't complaining that my other teammates are killing it right now, but I'd like to be able to show that I can kill it too. So,
hell yeah. And from Let's Get Ready Network, first time here. Thank you for being here, Ferris. Why don't you tell the folks what you got going on, where they can find you?
Yeah, every Friday, 8 o'clock. Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmoedown podcast. I will be bringing back the Highlight Sports Show every Tuesday, probably around 2 o'clock. That's pretty much it. I'm at Ferris Blunt on Twitter. That's where I'm at.
Excellent. And Dagan, where can the folks find you at? What do you got going on?
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter at DaganSB. That's DAGANSB. I got my usual show on Stereo with Corey Cameron. We took last week off because we were both on vacation, but we'll be back tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern, stereo.com/DaganSB, recapping everything that went down this week and last week as well. So be sure to check that out. I also, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, I'm still working on scheduling yet, but I'm going to be doing a show with my brother who worked on A Quiet Place 2. He was on the crew for that, so we're going to be reviewing that and talking about like what it was like for him working on the set and everything. So keep your eye out for that. I'll post a link on Twitter when that gets figured out for scheduling wise.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to check that out. Double D, Dan Dolinsky, where can they find you at, bud?
Yeah, you can find me at Twitter at Dan Dolinsky. Simple as that. You can find me here every Saturday running the numbers, picking a topic, and trying to make sense out of this crazy world that we live in.
Yep, and I'll just say it again. I apologize for blowing up.
Oh, hey, you know what? You leave it in too long, you're gonna explode. I know it.
Yep. But I am Jay Wade. You can find me on the Twitter at JWade1134. That's the letter JWADE1134, and also at the Jcast Network on the Twitter. Please like, sub, share all that good shit here. Let's get this channel to 100 subs, man. We've been lingering in the 8 for a very long time. It's just a shame. It's a travesty. But yeah, everybody. Yeah, I'm not sure who we got next week, but there are other shows on this network. We do a Bachelor show, myself and Sarah, and we also have a Star Wars show on Friday night. So be sure and check those out. And a new show is coming.
Page for Brady.
Yeah. A new show is coming to this channel mid-August that I'm very excited about. I think you guys are all going to like a lot. So I hope so.
Spoiler alert, it's the fans only web show.
No, it's not that. It's not that. I'm still working on that. I still have to make my bubble gut images and song remix.
Oh, don't go into the details.
I'm telling you, everybody, it's the song Bubble Butt, Bubble Butt, Bubble Butt. Except I'm gonna remix it, and it's in my own fans name or fans only, whatever it is. It's gonna be Bubble Gut, and it's gonna be Bubble Gut, Bubble Gut, and I'm gonna be like playing the drums on my gut and shit in the promo vid. Going to be awesome. Look out for that, guys. But until next week, everyone, have a great and safe week. You want to hear something funny? The mic wasn't on that whole time.
No way.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, wow.
So smooth.